and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
You know, here's the thing. I get a lot of grief from people say, "Oh, you got to take."
Double.
It's so good.
We
It's
played
so
it
good.
twice.
It's so good. We're gonna play it twice. Hello, Denver.
Someone in Denver is having a bad day.
I think we got CCP. Infiltrator. Somebody's inside the wire. No, the guys in Denver are amazing. They've been in total under assault. I hope they get enough sleep out there. Really love you guys and keep grinding. Remember, we're in the grind. Before we bring in Joe Hoft, what do you got, Raheem?
Okay, so I just want to make clear for everybody who heard us in the break that Steve is not actually making Jack Maxey's coffee. We just have to fact check that one.
That's because Jack Maxey makes the best coffee.
Exactly, I'm a coffee man.
Jack Maxey knows how to make Navy brew. Okay, I mean it could shine your shoes, right? So, okay, we're gonna go now to Joe Hoft. Joe, thank you for hanging on. We got so many backed up guests. I want to go immediately, Joe, to the lead story. It was up on Gateway Pundit today, where you kind of go through analytics of the different states, the statistics, but I think you particularly focus on Wisconsin. Walk us through the article and walk us, our audience, through the chumps and suckers out there, as Dan Abrams calls them. Walk them through the what's exactly going on out here.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, we've noted first last week, and maybe you guys recall, there was an incident in Michigan where 6,000 Trump votes were swapped between Trump and Biden. I guess the net amount would be around something like 12,000 or so votes that there was a glitch, is what they called it. And then the next day we found another glitch actually in Michigan, and this was at a lower level race in a different county in Michigan where they called it a system glitch. And then we found people started sending us, hey, if you look at this video on CNN, they will report an amount at one moment, and then the next time they show the amounts have been decreased for Trump, and almost in all cases an offsetting increase for Biden in the same amount. So we got a couple more tips over the last couple days, and there was one big one in Pennsylvania where 19,958 votes were swapped between candidates. That equals almost 40,000, a net difference, because if you add those votes back to Trump, take them away from Biden, that's 40,000. Then we found another glitch.
Slow down right there, because that's the difference. I want to make sure that media matters, and the media and the guys who are watching us are not going to melt down. Go back to, and by the way, these are not glitches, right? It's not a bug, it's a feature. Okay, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Go back to go back to Pennsylvania. Walk us slowly through this, because I want to make sure when Madeline Peltz, lights another cigar that we've helped her put it out. So
this $3 cigar.
So $3 cigar. Yeah. So walk us through when you say Pennsylvania 19,000, what do you mean?
Okay, so what happened was, and we're considering this, the term they're using is glitch, but it appears to be a pattern. The pattern is always that it's against Trump. So it appears to be more than just a glitch. In Pennsylvania, and we've got a post, I've linked to it in our post last night about Wisconsin, but in that you can see on CNN the amounts drop over where they show Pennsylvania's numbers, and then when they show them the next time, there was a decrease in Trump's amount and an increase in Biden's amount by the same amount. And the amount happened to be 19,000 votes. So the offset would be a 40,000 vote difference impact to the election. Now, we saw then somebody sent us a similar thing in Georgia. In this case, it was only 1,900 votes that again reduced from Trump's totals, but increased in Biden's totals, the same amount. And then we saw an amount last night somebody sent us in Wisconsin. And in Wisconsin, in one county, and it was Rock County in Wisconsin, the number of votes decreased by 9,516. And as we explained in our post last night, they started showing the numbers for the county. It was pretty even. And then Trump pulled about 1,000-point lead. And then all of a sudden they reported new numbers, and Trump's ahead by 9,500 votes. And then the next time they show the county votes, Biden's ahead by that same amount, 9,516 votes. They had swapped who was winning that county. That amount is still what's being posted out there on for the county for a number of votes won by Biden, and but clearly before that we've got a screenshot where the amount was it was Trump leading. That's a 19,000 vote difference as well. That's almost what Wisconsin's off by.
Yeah. Okay. So hang on for a second. We're going to have this article up. It's up on the on Gateway Pundit, and the Hofts and the Gateway Pundit team are at second to none. But I have a question. Have you contacted? You know, you're one of the most, known people in this movement, right? You and Andrew Breitbart were here at the very beginning. You were there. You were the very first guy, I think, in St. Louis, one of where the Tea Party really came from. That April 15th when it kicked off, or even before then, I think you guys kicked off. Have you reached out, or people on your staff, have you reached out to the Republican Party or to the Trump campaign in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, in Georgia, in these states? Have you guys said, hey, we have a problem with this? Are you guys on top of it? Yeah. Have you guys reached out yet?
Well, we did notice Eric Trump had retweeted this post last night, and this post took off. It was wildfire, Steve. We're up to now 5 million hits a day. So think of that. We're getting some attention here. This site is exploding because people want the truth, probably just like this venue here. So we know people are watching this. We've contacted now an individual who's in Wisconsin. The head of the Wisconsin Republican Party is this morning. We've also reached out to another person on the Trump team, actually 2 individuals this morning. So we're trying to get the word out. I appreciate you having us here so we can just say, okay, this needs to be looked at. Could there be smaller amounts that are slipping through that we can't see? We'd really like to get our hands on the entire database to show all entries and look for just those where there's a decrease in votes. We could isolate those relatively quickly. I know some IT guys that can do that. And really to see across the country, is this happening elsewhere? It sure appears to be a pattern here. We don't know for sure.
Yes, there was this weird anomaly in Virginia. And you're right. If it's happening all over, you just can't. That can't be glitches. There's got to be something. Yeah. The software had to be better. It had to be more robust than that. So, Joe, where does this investigation go for you? You're going to make contact with certain people of the in the Trump campaign. Eric Trump is retweeting it. Where does it go from Gateway Pundit? What do you guys do next?
Well, it's a good question. I wish there was more that we could do from here. We've reached out to try. There was this data specialist, apparently from the UK, over the weekend, who had a similar post where she was able to obtain a bunch of data, and she noted that in Virginia, over a period of time, there was like a 300,000 vote drop in total votes counted, and so that appears to be very similar to this situation. A similar thing last night that was noted, and we put another post up after the Wisconsin piece, was that in Pennsylvania, somebody identified 32,000 votes from Trump were reduced, I believe, across 3 counties at the same time, a total of 32,000. So
here's what I think. Here's what I think is incumbent upon all of us, and we'll assist you today to work this through. I think this either has a logical explanation of how the tote boards work or whatever, and it can be explained, or there's something here that needs further investigations. I'd like to get to the quick, hey, it's just the way the tote board works, and I think what we got to do, and we'll help you do this, we got to talk to the appropriate authorities on the Trump campaign, not even state election officials. I think you just got to go to the Trump campaign, into the RNC in these various areas, and just go through this and say, hey, was this thing, and they can either explain, yes, it is, this is how this anomaly or this works this way, or, oh my gosh, you're right, because they have people that are on top of this. And your story was so, how do I say this, volatile, right? And I can imagine it got that kind of hits, because you sit there and you go, wow, these are the kind of, remember, these are the type of retail things you got to get into. What Rudy in these lawsuits, the one in Michigan is going to be dropped today, I think they're going for actually broader, what I call wholesale, and Dershowitz calls wholesale. These are big, they're trying to basically just get rid of 600,000 ballots, right? That they can't be certified because the process has been so one, it's been unconstitutional, but even in the execution of it, they've mingled so much, you can't unwind it. The genie's out of the bottle, right? And so you got all these illegal ballots that are uncertifiable, unvalidated ballots mixed in with others. But yours on this part, this is not just retail. This is big retail. This is different than just one guy saying, "Hey, I saw a guy, write down 2 names, right, or take 2 ballots." These are the what I call the upper end of the scale of the retail, which could be huge. But I think we very quickly got to come to the thing that, hey, this is the logical thing of it, and just put it to bed. Or everybody goes, "Oops, this is something," and we got to drill down on it. Then you drill down on it. Remember, right now, Dan Abrams and the media are calling the deplorables and the hobbits chumps and suckers, and that you and me and Raheem and Maggie and we're just part of the con, right? We're part of the finesse, right? No, I guess the finesse is what the Democrats did. Tariq says that's what the Democrats did. So in the anti-finesse movement here, we're the anti-finesse movement. But we're part of the con. So I think it behooves. It's a fabulous piece. Right, and I think Gateway. I think the job you're doing, brother, is your site. Your site's now what? 12? Are you 12 years old? 14 years old? How long has Gateway Pundit been up?
I think a little more than 15, Steve. Yeah, and I just to add on to what you were saying there, Steve. It's more than just dead people. It's more than just felons that are voting. It had to be something bigger. We know there's a lot of people that voted that aren't that probably weren't registered, that aren't maybe even real people. But this maybe be something on top of it that could be some real big ticket if we could validate it, and it could change the election.
We either validated that it's okay, and then we put that to bed. Hey, we're going to investigate everything. We don't care what the mainstream media says. We're going to investigate every piece of this for the country, right? Yeah. Biden should be part of this. They should be should be a plaintiff here. They should be helping us. If he wants legitimacy, if he wants legality. You got to understand, the 71 million chumps and suckers are not going to back down because they know they voted legally. And they want to be proven to them that they were beaten by legal votes. Very simple. If you can beat us by legal votes, you got it. That's the way our system works. We'll be loyal opposition, but we will be opposition, okay? However, if you can't prove it's legal, you're not. Trump at high noon on the 20th is going to take the oath of office for his second term because he won on the 3rd. There's no middle ground here. One side's going to win legally, and one side's going to lose legally, right? We're not going to back off until you prove these illegal votes. We got 15 seconds. How do they get? What's your Twitter handle? How do they get to your site since you're still up?
Well, my Twitter's down, so Gateway Pundit is the Twitter for Jim, and Jim's site, of course, is the www.thegatewaypundit.com. So we encourage people to come. And there's a lot here, Steve. The numbers don't add up; they just don't add up. And I'm a CPA and MBA. I know this stuff there's something going on.
We got to bounce. We're so glad you're back in the country, brother. We love you, Joe Hoft, one of the killer Hoft brothers. Gateway Pundit. We're going to be back in a second.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.